Hi there, my name is Steve Gerhardt, and as always, this is the Unagi Observer. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching the video. This is a labor of love for me, so I'm so glad that you're here. I always appreciate it. Sorry, I'm filming in a different part of the apartment, and so there's going to be a lot more ambient noise. I apologize for that, but because I have a laid up leg and I can't really move anywhere and do this in the normal place that I do it, it has to be out here, so sorry about that. But yes, I want to talk about a more recent anime. I believe it came out last summer of 2025, and it is called Shabake, set in Edo, Japan. And it is a sort of a mystery, not horror, but fantasy, because the guy can see spirits, sort of story going on here. It's a little bit of a franchise, too. I kind of revisited this one. I only watched the first episode and I kind of enjoyed it. So let's go ahead and get into Shabake. All right, Shabake. This was from one of our anime watch parties that we usually do, and we do a review for them on the Anime Archaeology channel. The link is down below. Please check it out. It is a podcast, yes, and we talk about very interesting things. So please check it out. So anyway, Shabake. Again, you can find it on Crunchyroll. It's kind of interesting. It is historical fantasy, and let's get into the particulars. So this was originally, I believe, a novel series of novels. And am I correct on that? I am. So it's still ongoing, I believe. Started in December of 2001. There are about 23 volumes right now. It did two live action television films, one in 2007 and one in 2008. I think that was probably a two-parter story, probably. I have not seen it. It was on Fuji television. There is a manga. The manga went from January 2017 to March 20th, 2023. There was a net animation of 3 minutes. I have not seen it. I should look for it and watch it because I do like the anime. Anime, like I said, has just started. It was in October. Oh, no, it wasn't a summer watch. It was a fall watch. So October 2025, and lasted until December 2025. So it's about 13 episodes. So the story behind this, Shabake, is that there's a young they call him a young lord, but his family appears to be on the upper tier of the merchant class. And so they have wealth, and he unfortunately never really leaves his family's estate because he is very sickly. Like, he legitimately does not, he can't really extend himself. So his father has hired these two men to oversee and make sure that he's okay and make sure he doesn't get into any trouble or do anything that might make him even more sicker, because they reference how, oh, you remember when you almost died last year because you were so sick. So that's why they hired these two guys. But Ichitaro is the heir apparent to the medicinal company that his father runs. So it's a lot of herbs and, making medicines and ointments and things of that nature. So obviously they're pretty busy and they make a lot of money. And, but the interesting thing about Ichitaro is that even though he is sickly, he can see spirits. He can see yokai. He can see various types of demons. So he figures out fairly quickly that the two guys that his father hired are incidentally demons who are in his employ now. There is a silk screen that has a character on it, a kabuki character of sorts, who comes out and also assists him. You see these little sort of onis that are about this big running around the house, but only he can really see them. And whenever he goes out and about, sometimes he'll see a spirit. Spirits will come to him. And this isn't well, at least I've given it a 3 episode watch. So it doesn't appear to be like, spirits are coming to him. They say, oh, I need to go into the afterlife. You need to help me. No, it's not. It's the spirits basically coming to help him. And they recognize that he can see them. And so they help him and he helps them. And as a result, not only does he deal with the intangible fantasy of spirits and yokai and things like that, but also physical manifestations of demons and things of that nature, of different type of Japanese creatures. You see a lot of that going on, and they're in secret. They know that they need to be in hiding, so it's not like they're causing trouble that way, but they help assist him in certain things. So one night he decides to go out to visit a particular shrine that he's been wanting to go to, and he kind of sneaks out. He doesn't tell the demon guys, and he has the spirit from these silk screen kind of cover for him. And he goes out and he basically witnesses a murder, finds a body, and a young shrine maiden spirit shows up and says, we got to get out of here, and kind of leads him away from the site. He is somewhat pursued by the killer, but the killer gives up the chase after a while. And when I say chase, I don't mean like a running around corners and stuff. Like, the guy is pretty far back, and Ichitaro has to walk quickly, and the spirit kind of guides him, go down this way, go down this way, go down this way. And he escapes and gets back. And the dilemma, of course, is that the two demons who are supposed to oversee him have figured it out. The spirit from the silk screen is tied up, and nobody's really happy with Ichitaro at this point. But the local police show up, and he talks to Ichitaro. And by the way, this is Edo period Japan. Talks to Ichitaro and says, hey, there was a murder nearby. Here's the thing. Here's stuff that's going on. Just to let you know. So Ichitaro finds out more stuff about what's going on. And so the mystery starts. And so who is the killer? Who killed this guy who turned out to be a carpenter? And then we kind of get a glimpse of the killer at the end of episode 3, and he looks totally insane and psychotic. So you get the idea that the spirits are going to help him solve mysteries. And I think it's very interesting. It does Edo Japan fairly well. It talks about definitely about status and kind of where you are in life socially, economically. He has a friend who is supposed to inherit a candy shop, but the friend is not really that good at it. So instead of like it being a comedic situation, they're both kind of knowing that this isn't a good thing. Guy's got to improve if he wants to make anything of his life. And so it doesn't talk about it in a way of like overbearing, like emperor versus peasant or anything like that, but it's just people working within those confines. And also, talks about, him being able to see spirits, how he deals with them, how he talks to them, and how spirits deal with each other. For example, the two demons that find the spirit from the silk screen, who is pretending to be Ichitaro in bed, it's a lump in the bed. They were not happy with him and actually really beat him up. And there's like a point in the show where it takes that very seriously. It's not funny. It's not, it's Ichitaro going, why are you doing this? Stop it, stop it, stop it. And it also involves questions with the spirits of going, like the two demons going, why are we doing this again? Why are we protecting this person? Why are we doing, and not in a malevolent or, pissy way. It's just more along the lines of just like going, why are we bound to this person? We don't mind, but how did this happen? And so there's a lot of different things coming into play here in the first 3 episodes. And I just found it really, really interesting. Again, the animation is pretty good. It's standard for this time in animation. I think you'll enjoy that. The spirits are kind of funny. They can be funny when they want to be. The story is very interesting. If you like mysteries, I think you'll enjoy this. from a historical perspective, it kind of shows Edo, however you want to pronounce it, in that time period, and it's pretty faithful to that time, and it's also pretty faithful to how people kind of live in that time, fairly well. There's a lot of like, how do you light lanterns? How do you do these things? And so it's just like the little details I always enjoy. So, yeah, I give this anime Shabake 2 thumbs up. I think you should watch it. But this is definitely not shonen. This is definitely historical mystery fantasy. So you have to kind of like those things if you want to watch it. But if you haven't watched a mystery anime before, this might be a good one to start with, I think. So I'm going to continue to watch this and see how I feel about it in later episodes. But so far, I'm fairly impressed, and I think you should give it a try. So yeah, Shabake, give it a go. All right, so that's going to be it for this week. That was Shabake, a historical fantasy mystery. So please check it out. Let me know what you think down below. Don't be a troll, please. And yeah, that's going to be it. I think next week we're going to do a little manga review. Satoshi Kon, yes, Satoshi Kon manga review. And yeah, that's going to be it. And as always, but before I say as always, please take care of yourselves. Don't do what I did, which was injure my foot and then let it get infected, because then you're going to spend like almost 2 months recuperating, 3 surgeries. You don't want to go through all that. So please take care of yourselves, because I do love you guys and I want to see you out in the wild. So yeah, take care of yourselves. And as always, watch more anime.